Now what you have to do, Tarun, can you right click on speaker output? Speaker output is on the left, sources, yeah. Speaker output, right click, properties, downmost, yeah. Down, yeah, down arrow there.
I think this is all good, yeah.
Yeah, that should be the one. And okay. Same way for mic input also you have to do it.
Hello there.
What do we use?
Okay, I think, yeah, it's,
Hello.
it's good. We're good to go, man. We're live now.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the round 13 of Tier 2. The grid's really packed, tight, I must say, not packed, because we are expecting around 12 to 13 drivers only tonight. We're going to USA, which is basically COTA, the track called COTA. Very technical track, Sector 1, a lot of S's, Sector 2, few straights, and Sector 3, again, that really famous corner, I think turn 14 or turn 17, I'm not sure of the corner number, but it has multiple lines that can be taken. So let's quickly go on to a Hotlap video and a track video to have a look at how this track is really laid out for the drivers. Yeah, it's a 3.4 mile, 5.5 kilometer track and 20 turns. We have two major DRS zones, the start finish straight and the back straight. And there is a lot of elevation changes towards Sector 2. Let's have a look at the track, Hotlap by one of our fastest drivers on the community.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Circuit of the Americas here in Austin, Texas, as we're joined by RB Fidello, who's going to take us on board a lap through the circuit. Heading to turn 1, make sure your car's on the right-hand side, braking just before the black on the right. Slide here, so extremely careful on throttle and get a great exit down to the run 2. Onto turn 3, 4, 5, and 6, very reminiscent of the Suzuka S's as you're gliding from apex to apex. Make sure you keep your minimum speed high and use the momentum to channel through into turn 7, 8, and 9, which is an uphill section, so the car gets very light. The balance of the car shifts from rear to the forward. And into turn 11, braking at 75 meters. We saw the drivers taking a wider apex here to get a better run onto the back straight, which is a primal hot spot for overtaking. Open the DRS over there, and heading into turn 12, you want to be on the right hand side again, using all the curb, braking just before the 100, getting all the apex and a great exit onto turn 13 and 14, a very mechanical section of the track, using the grip from the tires and not the aerodynamical downforce produced by the car. Into turn 14, using the camber of the track to rotate the car onto this beautiful section, the triple apex right-hander. Flat out in qualifying, but we will be seeing drivers lift off during the race. Into the last corner, you want to brake just after that little dark patch on the left and make sure you get a great exit, and that completes a lap of the Circuit of the Americas. Thank you.
Well, that was pretty fast by RB Ferrello. I wouldn't say the fastest around, but yeah, 132, pretty respectable lap, I must say. And considering the fact that he's in Tier 2, he uses a couple of assists. That's pretty good a lap time. Well, very technical sector, like I said, Sector 3, the corner I was mentioning was turn 15, where there are multiple lines that can be taken by drivers, and it's interesting to see how overtakes are done, because you can dive down the inside, stick your car on the inside at the apex and just block the driver to turn in, the driver you're basically trying to move on. But yeah, we'll see how these drivers are going to pan it out through the race. If they stay behind, they use only the DRS zones for overtakes. That back straight is pretty long, I must say. So yeah, the first Grand Prix over here was held in 2012 in real life. Race distance, total race distance for us is at 50%, so it'll be at around 150-ish kilometers. And yeah, we'll have to see how the weather conditions will look like, because if it rains, it's going to be a pretty messy, or I must say a pretty tricky Sector 1 through the S's, where drivers are already struggling for grip through the Sector 1 in dry conditions itself. So we'll wait and watch. as we wait for the drivers to get into the session. So in the com box with me today, we have a fairly new streamer, Sai Tarun, with us, who will also be giving his valuable opinions once in a while in the middle. We'll be shortly joined by Moto, our OG Tier 2 streamer. And I'm Harry here, going to be keeping company with these guys with a little bit of knowledge and a little bit of experience I have on these tracks. So Tarun, what do you think about this circuit? How do you think it's going to pan out this race? Any predictions?
I think it's going to be a very tricky circuit, a very challenging circuit for all the drivers to, get a good lap, decent lap in the qualifying. As you know, in the race, it's going to be really close between the tier 2 drivers.
Absolutely, absolutely, and we know that the tier two has been by far one of our best tiers in terms of close racing. After season 5, tier one's been on a slight sabbatical. There's been a little changes. There has been a few drivers who've taken a little time off. So tier two has taken that front for IRC, where they seem to be having the pace to be so close to each other. It's a pity that today we only have 10 drivers on grid, but we'll have a quick look at how it looked. And qualifying, as we can see in the weather predictions just a while before, qualifying seems to be dry or a little cloudy till 10 minutes in. And at 15 minutes, there's a prediction of thunderstorms, I'm sorry, heavy rain basically. And if that's the case, I think drivers will try and get their laps maximum by the first 10 minutes of quali, because the last part of quali or the final third of quali will be wet, which is not going to help the cause, because when you have a dry and a wet session in quali mixed, you will try and use the dry sessions for all of this, because like I said, you get the fastest laps in the dry session and then just sit and watch the rain. As we are on board our IRC Abhi 20 in the Haas, who's on a out lap right now. I think he's one of the first drivers who will be setting a hot lap, and we'll have a look at how it is gonna pan out. Montero in the Williams, probably his teammate Etzel, who's not available this weekend. We have about one driver from every team, I think, except for the Red Bulls having 2 drivers, but both seem to be the reserve drivers, unfortunately. So pretty dull attendance tonight, but doesn't matter, because I'm sure we do see some fast drivers. We have SSG Assassin over there in the mix in P8 right now. Obviously, he's not set a lap because it's just the initial few minutes of quali, but he's in the Aston Martin and he seems to have some pace to show us, something which we all would like to see, because he's also gone off assist and no ABS as well, and he's just trying to find his footing and get used to driving in race conditions. So good for him. As we are right now on board Montero, let's go on board Montero and check out, because he's on a medium set of tires, and it'll be probably a banker lap, which won't be the ideal lap time, but again, it'll be setting the benchmark for the other drivers to compare to. As we see him taking the assist pretty smooth, not very pushy, taking a shallow line through turn 8 and then through turn 9 as we approach turn 11. Heavy braking zone. Turn a little later so that you can get the exit, nail it and short shift a little to avoid losing traction or fighting for traction. But he seemed to have had a pretty fine exit over there as he goes down the back straight, approaching turn 12. Heavy braking again. A late cut back line would be the best line, I presume, because that exit is pretty important. As I said before, hitting benchmark, a slight squirmy moment over there, some steering corrections. As we go into the famous turn 15, I was explaining multiple lines to be taken over there, as he has pretty much nailed it. And he's going through turns 16, 17, 18, approaching 19. Again, just flick the car, let the downforce do the work, and downshift maybe to scrub off some speed as he goes around the final corner of turn 20 across the start-finish line, and he puts in a 134.0, which is, not the fastest lap, but we'll go on board Assassin now, who's also in the final sector as he goes streeter over there as well, approaching the final 2 corners, turn 19. Doesn't take the apex as he would have liked, taking it very carefully, very, cautiously, probably just that it's just beginning few laps as we see a 133 flat. So he's a whole second up. As Assassin goes 132.5. So yeah, the lap times will fall drastically, as I said, and we can expect some faster lap times coming through. Probably the low 131s are possible, or maybe mid 131s with these drivers. But let's have a look as IRC comes across with 145.5, which is definitely not a fast lap. So he's just trying to lay some rubber down and get some warm up laps in. So as I know, they're slotting into provisional P3, a 132. Definitely has more pace to look out for, as there are other drivers on hot laps, as looks like Reese is on a hot lap, or maybe not. He doesn't seem to be on a hot lap. Yeah, he's going to be starting a lap, I presume now. He has about 50% of ERS left, so he will be able to put in another lap, and he's on one lap old softs as well. As you see over there, Reese had the fastest sector 1, but through turns 7, 8 and 9, I think, especially 8 and 9, I think he struggled to get the apex right, and he took in too much speed over there, it looked like, or probably just lost his line. A lot of scrubbing as well to keep the car on track. But yeah, the sector 1 was pretty impressive. His SS looked like a clean line as Assassin goes. RB Ferrello slots into P2 with a 132.8, but definitely not the fastest lap time, because Assassin seems to have gone faster with a 132.5, as we see how the other drivers are doing around here. If we can go on board Reese again and complete that lap which he was trying to put up, he seems to be 3 seconds off according to the telemetry, which I'm not sure about, but yeah, we will wait and watch how that lap time is coming out for him, as he has a very big moment over there. Probably go into the pits, yep, as we expected. Not the most ideal exit, probably too throttle hungry over there on the exit of turn 19. Tarun, if you can switch off the in-game lap time telemetry, that will be great, because we have our own lap data. Yep, that's perfect. And get that menu out of the way as well, as we already have enough telemetry for our viewers to see and get as much information as they can. You can see the status of the cars on most drivers at the left bottom, which will appear when we jump onto another driver in a bit. As we can look at this lap time, it looked a little fishy over there. It showed a purple sector 2 and then quickly became a yellow sector 2, not sure why, but I see B20 is on a hot lap, but he seems to be on 2 lap old softs. I don't think he has any ERS left in the bank as well, so he's probably just going to slot into the pits, but nope, he seems to be getting some practice, and I think some long runs, getting a feel for the car through the laps that he's putting up now. As we see, Montero seems to have exited the pits, so has Streeter and SSJ Assassin all on out laps. PK19 as well, who is currently in P10, but well, he's not really as slow as a P10 driver. He has some pace, a lot of aggression as well on track, which is useful at times, but can also turn out to be disastrous. As we see BK19 starting his hot lap. Let's stay on board BK19 for a lap. He's going through the start-finish straight, approaching turn 1. A lot of elevation, goes uphill and then having to brake uphill, and then an immediate downhill over there on the exit of turn 1. Having to nail that corner in terms of traction, and if you take too much curve on the inside, that itself can be a little tough for the driver, as he takes a lot of curve over there through turn 6, as he goes up turn 7 uphill again into towards the end of sector 1. Staying away from the curve is pretty safe over there, I must say, as he's approaching turn 11 now. An okayish sector 1, but let's have a look at how it goes through sector 2, as this is his first hot lap, so nothing really has reference for the telemetry to show. in terms of personal bests or fastest or slow laps. Going towards turn 12, heavy braking, a cutback line would be the best possible line. Uses all of the track over there on exit. Gets into probably third gear. Short shifts to fourth to get that line perfectly fine. Stays wide and turns a little late to stay again on exit as wide as possible to throttle in a straight line so that traction won't be much of an issue. And then since these are F1 cars, the amount of downforce they have can be used a lot. As he misses the apex over there through turn 19 and going through turn 20, let's see what kind of a lap time he's able to post as he goes 133 flat again. So he's the top driver in the 33s, so he's in P4. The drivers in P1, 2 and 3 respectively have broken the 33 barrier, the 30 second barrier, so they're in the 32s. As you see, Streeter going fastest with a 132.4 in a potential provisional pole. And as we noticed over there, it seems like Assassin has gotten a faster lap time, a 132 back. Managed to shave off 5/10 on that last flying lap that he's been able to put. As we see Tanny over here going through towards turn 11. Seems to be on a personal best sector 1. Stays well off the curbs at the apex over there. Well, not the best of exits, I must say, but not sure about lines if you do not take the apex at all. Sector 3 pretty taxing on the drivers. As you see, a little bit of rotation over there, probably a little too much, was on the edge over there for sure, as he takes turn 15 pretty well. Good exit over there as well. Tries to stay as close to the inside as possible, but it seems to be going a little bit too wide over there through turns 16, 17 and 18 as he comes around and goes into the pits somehow. Not sure why, but I think that was probably his in-lap, not sure about. Yeah, 2 lap hole stops pretty much explains why he's gone into the pits. As we stay on board Abhi to see how his lap time looks like as he's starting a hot lap just now on fresh tires, as we have 5 minutes left in quali. And there doesn't seem to be any rain coming yet, and I'm not sure about what the game has predicted. But then the telemetry did show that there's going to be some rain towards the end of quali, and let's hope and see we can see a few drops because the race seems to be dry, and who doesn't like variable weather to any race, any track? Avi seems to be almost a tenth and a half off the pole lap in sector 1 itself, but it's a personal best. He has improved on his previous lap times, and he is going to try and get that car as high as possible because both the Haas boys are in attendance and it might help them in the Constructor Championship as well. So the championship battle seems to be pretty close between some of the drivers up ahead. RB Ferrello in P1 with 189 points to his name, is driving for the Mercs. As we see Faizan pretty close behind with about 20 points gap between the two. Faizan driving for the Alfa Romeo team. Anish Montero, who is currently in P3 on grid with a 132.6, who is also on a hot lap, is in P3 on the championship standings as well with a 162 points to his name. So close battle up top for the drivers, I must say. And as we are on board Montero now, well, let's have a look how his lap looks. So he has the fastest sector one. He's almost 800s, 900s up on SSJ Assassin's fastest lap. As Assassin sitting in the pits, not sure if he's going to be coming out for another lap. Yes, he has, and he has come out on a fresh set of socks for his final hot lap for the quali session. As we see Montero now going down the back straight, we'll have to see how his sector 2 times look, because he's about a 10th, close to a 10th up on Dan's last hot lap. Seems to be getting a little close to the driver where it was Danny R, and might be getting a slight, but not sure about that. He had some squirmy exit there out of turn 20 as we, well, it's a little surprising because the telemetry seems to be showing he has the fastest lap, but he's only gotten 32.2. He's about 2.5 tenths off Dan's fastest lap. So that's probably Montero's last lap that he had, but he still seems to be pushing probably to start another lap. I'm not sure. As we stay on board, probably, yeah, he's invalidated his lap as well, BK. So he's invalidated both lap times, this and the next. So he'll have to try and get around very quickly if he wants to even try and get another hot lap and probably cut a few corners as well, straight line DSs. In the meantime, Danny over there on a hot lap. Personal best again in sector 1. But he doesn't seem to be able to get up to pace yet. He's a reserve driver for Tier 2, and we'll have to see how it pans out for him. Yellow flags in sector 2 over there. It's so nasty. I'm not sure if that is Dan because he was on a hot lap, but I'm not. As Danny has put on a 133 flat and a good improvement. He's pretty close to the drivers ahead in P6, 7 and 8. P6 and 7. As we stay on board, Dan, who seems to be, yeah, he definitely did have a moment somewhere in sector 1 which we've not been able to capture, but I don't think he's going to make it in time for a second hot lap, and that is quali over for Dan, unfortunately, as he's giving way to the drivers around him, probably going off track pretty wide. I don't know if that was just lockups or he just missed his braking point. As we have Streeter going up to P2 with a 132.1, almost a 132 flat, 132.2. So he's about 2 tenths off Dan's fastest lap, and Dan seems to have provisional pole. At the moment, no one seems to be having the pace to beat him for pole position, as Montero is also done with his hot laps. We have Avi BK19, who seems to be exploring some track limits over there in sector 1 towards sector 2, as he's staying off track to let Streeter, probably by Streeter's AI, must I say, because his quali is over and his AI will be driving around on track. As RB seems to be on a hot lap. I think he's just made it in time somehow, and he is on a hot lap. He's done a personal best in sector 1, and he's going to be trying and getting a good a good sector 3, because that's where he'll do well, and he just goes off track, but somehow the game hasn't invalidated his lap time as he's going around turns towards turn 15. Pretty good, probably a little tight line, but on exit no problems over there with traction as he goes through 16, 17 and 18, coming up to 19. he will try and flick the car as fast as and as aggressively as he can. Gone a little too wide and has invalidated his lap time, unfortunately, and that is quali over, ladies and gentlemen, as we saw BK19 doing some lawn mowing as well. The only driver on track to finish the lap he is on or probably get into the pits. So, well, I think that's the standings for the night, as we have SSJ Assassin in pole position with a 132 flat, Streeter in P2 with a 132. Oh, Montero seems to have flipped him for P2 with a 132 flat as well. He's about 9/10 off from pole, so very close between the top two. And Streeter in P3 will be pretty happy with P3 and how it went. As you can see over there, Streeter in P3, we have RV Ferrello in P4, Abi20 in P5, and Faizan in P6, BK19 in P7, Tani R in P8, and well, the rest of the grid we will have a look at as we go into the race session. We shall await the formation lap to get away, because we know F1 2021 being a little scary in terms of the lobbies having glitches. Well, I think the race is wet, and I did not read the predictions right, because drivers seem to be, yeah, the race is wet. Let's wait and see. Yeah, there you go. That's your confirmation. The race is wet. It's going to be a wet race, and that is going to be interesting to see how the drivers pan out the race now. It's full wet as well, so they will be on the full wet, the blue wall tires, which has the maximum threading to displace maximum amount of water off track. Probably try and create a line, but a racing line or some of sorts with lesser water around there. But I don't think that's going to be very possible for the amount of rain that I'm able to see on the track at the moment. Well, so if it is wet weather, we know that the rules are very clear. You do not have to make a mandatory pit stop if the race is going to be fully wet. So you can start and finish on the same set of inters or wet tires, whichever you are opting for. But if it does dry out, well, it anyway means the drivers will get into the pits to swap tires for slick tires, probably softs or mediums, depending on when it stops. But I don't think this race is going to be dry. Or the rain is going anywhere for this particular race. So it's going to be a wet race for the rest of the race, and we will wait on the drivers to get their setups, their tire pressures if necessary, their wing settings, the fuel load they want to carry. Now that it's a wet race, they can run much lesser fuel load because of the fact that, well, you do not really use your engine at its full capacity or its full power in the wet conditions. So they can save a lot. You run the car a lot less fuel, much lighter than a dry session, and that will probably be what most drivers will be doing. And we have to also consider that there are chances of safety cars, but with the number of cars we have on grid, I think that's highly unlikely that we'll see a safety car. Yep, formation lap is underway. Like, well, forget that it's all written in the qualifying side, but there seems to be a dry. This session seems to be going towards dry soon, because as we saw there, it was looking like thunder showers for I think 10 to 15 minutes, and then heavy rain or medium rain. I don't know what the word for it is, but heavy or medium rain for another 20 minutes or so, and then the final side, around 20-25 minutes, it seemed like there was just heavy cloud cover, so, or overcast conditions basically. So it might become a dry race. I'm not really sure, according to what the weather prediction shows. But yeah, there's some amount of predictability or unpredictability in the weather as well in this game.
Hello.
Hi there, Moto. We have
Yes,
Moto in
I
the
was
comp.
waiting for you to cue me in, but I guess I'm going to have to do that myself.
Well,
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I'm a bit late, but yeah, whatever I missed out on, it looks like the race is wet, so that's interesting.
yeah, interesting because it's Inter's conditions. I was not able to.
It looks quite
Yes,
heavy
right.
though. It looks
Yeah, it
like
looks heavy.
wet. Yeah.
So I'm not sure why the drivers have gone for wet Inters, because the game would have probably just told Inters are enough. But even I'm a little shocked. It looked pretty wet. It looks pretty heavy rain, and even the game predicted that it's thunder showers. So I'm not sure about the reason. Probably they're expecting the heavy rain to reduce in the first lap itself, also, because as we saw there in that weather prediction that just came out, the weather forecast showed that it's going to become just medium rain and won't stay this heavy.
That's interesting. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm guessing that's a qualifying pecking order. So, yeah, I guess Dan got pole. Was it a dry session?
Yeah, it was a dry quali session. Dan got pole by about 900 from Montero. Streeter was another one and a half. Dan's fastest lap. RB comfortable P4 had a chance at improving his lap time, but invalidated on his final run. And Abhi 20, well, he's just trying to get up to pace because he hasn't come with a lot of practice into this race. Faizan again struggling for some pace through sector 1 specifically, from what I remember seeing on board him. As we see, there has seemed to be a little bit of change in the way they've lined up, or they during the formation lap, as we have the final driver lining up over there, Sager probably, as we wait for the lights. We have 3 lights, 4, 5 lights. Lights out and away we go. A little slow start over there for the front, both the front runners, and we have a sideways car over there who almost went into a spin. Dan seems to have pulled ahead, as we have a late diving RB over there. Streeter going wide, Montero going very wide. Lot of drivers, some drivers.
Others going very wide on the exit of turn 1 there. Yeah, a lot of drivers scuffling about for position here, and I think that's a spun Red Bull at the exit of 1.
Yeah, Sager did lose it on traction over there out of.
But Dan seems to have got the dream start. Sorry to interrupt there, but yeah, he's got the dream start. He's already 1.2 seconds ahead. 3 now. And yeah, that's just a perfect start for the Aston Martin driver.
Well, perfect start indeed, as we see that train of drivers, both the Haas fighting 19 ahead. Abhi side on 11, as he tries to nail the exit and maybe not get attacked by again. As you see over there, I think it was Streeter and Tanny going wheel to wheel. Tanny seems to be trying a move over there, but Streeter defends well.
Gets moved on, and will Reese go in for a sneaky move up the inside of Tanny? He does, and he gets that done very nicely. So good move there for the Merc driver. But as the Haas's go side by side into the section which is amazing for wheel-to-wheel racing, and evidently so, as they're still side by side, Avi sends it down the inside, but now Peak is going to get the cut back line, get a better entry for that corner, and then get back on exit as well. So yeah, some great action there for both the Haas boys.
Yep, and as you see, the multiple lines you can take.
Yeah.
That sector.
Yeah, Harry, I think your mic is clipping quite a bit, so I'm not sure if you're talking or not. But yeah, speaking of positions gained, could we actually go on to that on the telemetry if it's possible? Because I think Faizan has gained a plentiful number of positions. He was down in P9. Yeah, he's gained 3 positions, which is still quite a lot. And yeah, he's up to the podium places. So possibly a podium for the Alfa Romeo driver this race could be on the cards here, as we're getting the first penalties in, as Paris has run wide, probably on the S's, which is quite easy to invalidate over there, considering how quickly you take that section, even in the wet. So yeah, a pretty good start from the Aston, and it seems happy days for the entire grid, and yeah, a clean getaway, not too many incidents as well. So yeah.
Yeah, like you said, is my mic a little better now?
Yeah, it's better now.
Well, hope it doesn't get cursed. But
Yeah.
as we are onboard, seems to have lost just. Oh, we see RB going really wide into turn 12 over there. Stays on track, comes back on track, obviously, but since he has a decent gap over there, but he's lost to 10th or 2 to Faizan, but seems to be gaining it back as well. As you see, the mistake has costed him 3/10 to Dan. Dan is 2.3 seconds ahead now.
Yeah, it seems Sager has left the session here, so that's going to be Zaya driving around now till he joins back. So not happy days for the Red Bull driver there, but yeah, the gaps are quite equalized now. More or less a second throughout the entire field right now between two drivers in any position. But yeah, it's going to be really hard to overtake in the wet here, and as it usually is in the wet on this game. So it's going to be interesting to see what the drivers do. If they will manage their tires right now, or will they just push 100% and try to get some moves done, or just wait it out for the dry period? If I'm not wrong, there's a dry period coming up as well, Harry.
Yeah, expecting a dry period at around. But yeah, like you said, we'll have to wait and watch, because if it's going to be a full wet session throughout the race, then we'll probably see just one set of pit stops and some drivers probably staying out and waiting for it to dry. Just putting it out to dry till it becomes sunny.
Oh, as we see, Paras literally pushing the horse of RB20 there through the corners, seems to have have a huge pace advantage. But then again, on the exit, you can see, and not through the exit only, through the corners itself. Just the wash was so bad. He dropped 3/10 instantly. But speaking of dropping down, I think BK could be in danger of dropping down the order as RB20 looks ever so close to him. And again, through this beautiful section, are they going to go side by side through the section again? No, not quite. But yeah, RB20 is just rattling the gearbox of BK there as he tries to find a way past his teammate. Ooh, that's Montero, who's lost his car. A rare mistake from one of the veterans, I'd say, of IRC. Hasn't made too many mistakes this season, but yeah, a very rare one right there has cost him his front wing, and that's going to be a virtual safety car as well. That's kind of surprising if you would ask me, because it wasn't a non-track retirement, just a front wing loss. And apparently the marshals think there's too much debris on track, so the VSC is out for the time.
Well, VSC is out and Paras seems to be catching up as he expected. Ending and very dive down, sending it.
Bit of contact there. RB20 ever so aggressive with the Alpine driver there. I don't know if we're going to have a look at the onboards to see how fair that was. But yeah, Paras absolutely diving it down the inside. But as usual, RB on the outside lane could have managed his exit much better because he could straighten out his wheel much earlier. But yeah, the Alpine just looking ever so close to that horse again and again.
Well. Pretty spicy. Pretty spicy battles for P7, I must.
Yep. And those battlings caused the Red Bull of Danny to just pull away that much more. As for some reason the gap seemed to be a bit bugged. I'm not sure what's going on there. If you can just reset that would be great. But yeah, Danny is ever so close to the Merc of I think that's Reese. Yeah, ever so close to the Merc of Reese. He's pushing him along the track. So yeah, there you go. The people who have that huge pace advantage, even with that, they can't quite find a way past their rivals because of this wet weather condition. So yeah, we're gonna have a look and see how this battle plays out.
As the drivers are coming around the final corner, as they pass the start line, we will slowly get the deltas over there.
Yeah.
Streeter within a second to Faizan. There's a battle with P3 to watch out for.
This looks like it's going to be an interesting battle, because if I'm not wrong, these two have had coming together in very in the previous seasons of IRC, if I'm not wrong, or is that just me?
Well, Faizan's definitely an aggressive. It's opportunistic, I must say, not aggressive. But again, it's definitely a dangerous combination to have, because you need to have someone complying or giving in terms of when you know you don't have the pace, or you know that it's an obvious overtake, and if you defend unnecessarily, it's going to slow you and the driver behind, and that's not going to help the bigger picture of the strategy battles which can play out, etc.
Absolutely, yeah. But at least one good thing that is there going on for Faizan is that he's put the correct setup as the yellow flag. It's the Red Bull of Sager who has rejoined the session and has not had a good resumption, if that's even a word, to his evening race here in USA. But coming back with a spin. But Sager will be looking and hoping for a safety car, and so will Montero, who's 30 odd seconds behind the lead pack. But Race did end up in a wrong setup and had to struggle a lot. But today it seems that Faizan's got the right setup and he's back on pace in P3.
Well, back on pace, and he seems to have lost time as well, but he seems to be gaining it back. It's plus 3 tenths over there. So far. And now they're going to find the S's as his PK over there, fighting with his teammate, defending from his teammate, losing his rear on turn 1 exit, and through the S's, the dirty air, so tough to drive so close in the S's. You lose a few tenths over there only to gain it back through the back straight after turn 11 towards turn 12.
Yep. Just the wash of dirty air in these conditions is too much to handle for not only these drivers but almost the entire player base of this game. Is just that much harder to overtake in the rain. And but it does provide for some good battles, and again, because of traction being so hard, any slight raw mistake can just spice up that battle that much more. And speaking of spice, we can see the Red Bull was diving it down the inside as we switch back to the horses who are fighting again. Is that Abhi going on the outside? He's tried to, but adjusting his lines there, and BK is just defending ever so well. But Tanny trying to find a way around Reese has not quite been able to do that, as Reese is still ahead. But all this combination of the faster driver being behind, combined with this wet weather, is really providing for some great battles here.
Absolutely, and I think we can see that the rain is probably waiting for an incident between these two drivers so that he can just pass through.
Surprised team orders is not at play, considering how much higher up he is in the championship. But BK certainly seems that he has the right to that position, and he does not want to let his teammate by at all. So that's good. Teammate battles are always fun to watch, and we certainly are depraved from these battles because IRL, the teams are just act like well-oiled machines, and they don't want to risk any inter-team debacle, as we had seen in Baku. So it's always good to watch two teammates fighting.
Always is, and Paris seems to have become a part of this pack.
As I think Abhi ran really wide there on the exit of that happened. Lost out some more time to BK, so he is struggling now. And when you just push that much harder, these mistakes do happen. So Abhi is certainly not happy about being behind his teammate for this long. And Danny as well, stuck behind the Merc of Reese, and Streeter behind the Alpha of Faizan. My bad. So yeah, just some good battles going on here. Some cars traveling, going very closely with each other, but no moves as of yet. No decisive moves, that's for sure.
As you can see over there, the different lines taken to turn 20. Managed out at 10 back start finish straight, so as they are closing up to RB, who seems to have made a few mistakes somewhere or the other. He's just 1.5 seconds ahead of Faizan. Now
Yeah.
1.2.
Dan has just pulled away. He's had a he's just going out for a Sunday drive, being it Saturday, but whatever. Saturday night drive, why not? And he's just chilling up front, but all the action is happening behind him. So yeah, the race is not disappointing at all. And as usual, USA always delivers in these races. There's a yellow flag in sector 2. Is that Reese who spun out? Yep, that's Reese who's cracked under pressure. He's lost his front wing as well, like Montero had. And Tanny will be glad about that because he was just stuck behind that Merc for so many laps. I think 5 or 6 laps he was stuck behind. So yeah, unfortunate for the Merc driver though there.
Yeah, Reese will have to slowly make his way back. Wide. In sector 1 is where he had his offing, and in that case he'll have to go through almost 2 sectors. Yeah, 2 sectors totally to get to the pits.
Yeah. The Haas boys, just happy to look at this. 2 Haas boys just going so closely on these kind of tricky, precarious conditions, and it's just making for some nice camera shots of the 2 Haas boys on their home track, nonetheless, just duking it out like the good old days. As Abhi seems rather close. Is he going to go for a send on the brakes? No, chooses better of it. Trying to give him more respect since he is his teammate, but he gets a monster exit. Can he get him on the traction? He's trying to go around the outside. There's not much grip there offline, and yeah, he gets a bit squiggly on not the exit, but like the course through the corner, and yeah, he's just hanging behind his teammate for just that 1 sector longer. But yeah, again, battle just seems to be ever so spicy.
Well, the Haas boy is definitely giving us all the action on need commentate on, because I'm just waiting. This is just wet weather. We have low traction, and on top of that, we have 2 drivers of the same team who are fighting it out on track. As we see over there, Avi 20 getting close, using a bit of ERS. You can use a lot of ERS as he's getting his mid cornering speed seems to be much better. As
yeah, another yellow flag. Oh, there's an incident there with a couple of drivers there. RB, Faizan, and Streeto, all 3 of them were just halted on the track, if I'm not wrong. And yeah, SSJ is now 11.6 seconds ahead. So what's going on there?
We managed to miss that particular bit of, and while Streeter seems to have utilized this opportunity to go into P2. Faizan pitting, which means he definitely had some damage to take care of. Yes, yellow wing. Sager definitely not having the best of race over there. Spinning around, not being able to make the best out of it. Faizan right now, fresh, and then possible dry weather come out soon. And if that does, then yeah, he's gonna be at a disadvantage.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, this is only going to help the case of Assassin because he's about points in championship stand. He's in P4 with a 146 points. RB, who's the leader, has a 189 points to his name, and yeah, with the pace and the luck which Assassin seems to be having, we could probably reach RB pretty soon within 2-3 races.
Yeah, absolutely. And oh, Abhi just that much closer. Is he going to go for the send in this not off cambered con actually? As there's a car behind who died. I think, yep, that's Paras who's just lost it there on the exit, and he's retired as well. So low speed contact. I'm surprised he's done DNF from that position on the racetrack. So is that a possible safety car? No, just a yellow flag from now. And yeah, it's been cleared, and yeah, racing has been resumed. And we will have to have a look if RB's going to send it down the inside here. But yeah, PK just using his ERS to keep ahead. And the battle continues.
Well, through turn one, it looks like Abhi seems to be having. Looks like
my job title changes, my summary, whatever I'm doing with my LinkedIn profile, this is going to tell me exactly whether it is working out or not, right?
Abhi seems to be having the pace over BK over there, but
right? Number two, it is that person visits my profile, and that is absolutely fundamental, right? For my LinkedIn growth, because you can see here, for some of these people here, like this one here, Screen Sharma is completely connected to me. And what we if somebody is my secondary connection, what LinkedIn is telling me is that you can go and connect with them because they have checked you out. You can grow your network by connecting this person. If somebody who's a first
yeah, as we see, the horse is just again, just it's been the story of the race, hasn't it? The horse is just moving together, and Abhi's just not been able to find a way. I'm wondering if this is hampering him because the amount of pace he has over BK, I'm pretty sure he has the pace to fight Danny and RB as well. As there's another yellow flag, is that Sager again, who's gone off? Yep, it is Sager again who's gone off. And he's lost his wing again there, has Sager. So, yeah, not happy days for the Red Bull driver there. But, yeah, back to question. I think if it's interesting if Abhi is actually getting held up massively here because he seems to have so much pace on his teammate. I'm surprised if he's going to have more pace in that car than some of the runners up ahead in front of him as well. So strategically, this could be losing them points to the Haas team there.
Now, the important thing you see here is the 30 connections in email, which is what the feature number 2.
Okay, it seems Harry has some mic issues, so I will be taking over just for a while, and yeah, he's going to be joining back in a while as well. So yeah, back to this battle. Yep, Haas is just sticking ever so close. Dan just sailing away. Not much to talk about in this race, as I think the wet weather has sort of not only dampened the track but dampened our spirits as well. As we aren't getting any decisive maneuvers here in this race. But yeah, as Harry had mentioned, the dry period is on its way. So there's always that to look out for in terms of strategy. As I think BK just disappeared from the screen there, but he's back. So. I don't know what strategies he's putting into his ASCA to try and confuse Abhi behind, but yeah, BK with some telepathic moves there. As Abhi's still stuck behind his teammate, just trying to find the right lines. He's taking the right lines, but it's just so hard on the exit, as you just can't get the power down soon enough, otherwise you are going to risk losing the rear end. And that's what Abhi is struggling with, and especially if you have a car in front of you, the wash is just that much exaggerated. So yeah, it's just going to be the story of the next few laps. I don't think Abhi's going to get past his teammate here if the dry period does not arrive soon enough. But yeah, further up ahead, the gaps have equalized. I think Streeter has pulled away from RB after that incident, and Faizan has lost a lot of time. Maybe he got a lot of damage on that lap, as DRS has been enabled, if I'm not wrong. Sai, if you're there, could confirm that. That just come out.
Yeah, DRS has been enabled. Back. did the telemetry did show that we have
Yeah.
light cloud cover.
And Faizan's the first one to pull the trigger. He's out on the mediums. So is this going to be a case of Vettel in Turkey 2021, or is it going to be a case of Vettel or Stroll in Hockenheim 2019, where he made the absolute right decision to come out of the dry tires there? But yeah, seeing from the Delta, he's losing time to the Inter runners right now. Not much, but yeah, and now he's getting it back. So yeah, I think the medium tires, the slicks are the way to go, and he's just gaining a tenth almost on every exit right now. His Faizan. So yeah, everyone's going to be coming into the pits right now as Abhi has finally found the pace to make the move on BK. Is this going to be the move of the race here? As he's finally gotten past his teammate after what seems like 13 laps of just being stuck behind him, and he's finally free from having to stare at his teammate's gearbox, and he can just pull away and eke out in gap now and just charge on to the Red Bull driver in front of him. So yeah, Dan pitting as well, though I don't think Dan's going to be overtaken by anyone here unless Faizan's an absolute massive outlap there, as both the Haas's are going to pit. No, one of them chooses to stay out. Who is that? That's BK who's chosen to stay out. So he's going to drop down massively. His front tires are also absolutely knackered as well. So yeah, BK is going to be definitely dropping down a lot of positions after everyone catches up on the slicks.
Dan over there, who was in the lead before and after coming out of the pits, so that should show the amount of dominance he has on today's grid. As we see over there, BK's tires going from bad to worse within a sector. They're almost close to red, might be entering puncture territory in a little bit.
It's interesting how his fronts are so much more worn than his rears, considering this is a rear limited circuit, if I'm not wrong. At least the sectors 2 and 3 are definitely. 1 maybe is front limited, but yeah, you can see the understeer on the Inter tires. He's lost almost a second and a half to RB Ferrello on the slicks. So yeah, BK is certainly not the winners of this race so far, as we can see. But Abhi, who's on the charge, has closed up to the Red Bull, who he was trying to chase down, less to his teammate who was just holding him up that much longer. And yeah, he can just go on the charge now and make up some positions for the championship.
Well, BK is losing pace drastically, as you can see. I hope he gets into the... He's coming around turn 16, 17 and 18, I think now.
He's just done a purple sector 2 as Abhi. Sorry to interrupt you there. But yeah, go back, Harry. I think you were saying BK is losing time as Reese has retired from the race. And is that a safety car? That is a safety car. BK gets a free stop.
That is funny because Reese is way in sector 1. If you notice, he's crashed somewhere towards... Yeah, the car has been cleared out, but he was a lonely car in sector 1, and I'm not sure why there was a safety car for that. But for Paris,
I don't think BK is gonna get enough of a gap because of the safety car, even with the safety car, because of how much time he was losing while on the Interstars, and he essentially comes out where he would have without the safety car. So yeah, not much to win there, but yeah, gaps are now equalized. Everyone is on equally worn tires. Everyone has a fresh chance of making some moves now, and Faizan's gone onto the softs. He thinks those tires can last. What is that?
13 laps.
13 laps. That is cutting it close.
And there might be 3 laps under safety car, so probably 10 laps.
10, yeah. 10 actually is doable. So yeah, Faizan is going to be one to look out for, as BK has gotten a DT as well. So yeah, not a race to remember for the Haas driver here, as he's going to have to wait for the safety car to go out and then do his drive-through, because you cannot serve a drive-through under yellow flags, because it sort of defeats the purpose, doesn't it? But yeah, the field is neutralized. Sager has left the session again, and yeah, coming back to what... Let's do some discussion here, shall we? What do you think is Dan's going to be Dan's philosophy for the restart here? Is he going to try and get as much heat as he can into those tires to pull away again, or is he going to try and play it safe now?
Well, it depends on how the conditions are gonna change from here. It is heavy cloud cover, and BK gets another drive through. There are two drive throughs to BK's name now. I'm not sure if he's not seeing the delta on his screen, but yeah, he's got two drive throughs now. I'm not sure if that's even possible by the game. It only shows one drive through there, but we just saw the message pop up. So I'm
BK
not
has gone
sure.
and done a madness here.
We really don't know how that works, but as we were talking about SSJ, pretty simple. He should just keep it on track at this point and get as much heat definitely as possible into the tires, because of the fact that the temperature, the track temperatures and the general air temperature will be pretty low at this point.
Yep.
And being on the mediums, which is the second softest, Faizan and Montero will have the best tires at this point of time.
Absolutely. And what's interesting is that Faizan might get another rescue card. I think the safety car has to go on for 2 more laps, because considering how bunched out the field is right now, with Seja being all the way back in what the start finish straight right now. Or is that an Alp? I'm not sure.
That is Montero.
Yeah, that's a Williams and Montero. So Sager is a lap down. My bad. Yeah, Montero being all the way back there. So safety car is going to go on for at least 2 more laps. So we're just going to give Faizan and Montero just that extra buffer to get those soft tires till the end. And also the cool track temperatures might help with the wear as well. So yeah, Faizan and Montero in the hot seat to win this race, if in all honesty right now, if they can get those moves done.
Well, you're predicting them to get a win. I'm just predicting they'll get up to the podium positions, because people will defend. Drivers ahead will defend. When you have the likes of BK, yes, he has to drive through serve. It'll be pretty funny to see him having to go into the pits serving a drive through two consecutive laps. So we'll see if that's how it works, because I've really never seen two drive throughs being
Yeah,
given in the same
that's a first
session.
for me as well. Yeah, but yeah, coming back to what you said, Harry, I think they do have a chance of the win, because as I think one more driver is going into the pits. Who's that? Tanny. Tanny wants to go into the softs as well. Yeah, again, point in case. Harry, the mediums over here are at least 2 seconds a lap slower than the softs on race pace. That's a lot of delta, between two different tire compounds. So I think the softs are just that much faster for them to have a good chance of the win.
Absolutely, there's nothing to disagree over there, because, like I said, the softs are easier to work with. It's easier to get them to the working window, the temperatures wise, and to maintain those temperatures also are pretty easier compared to the mediums, because the mediums you gotta push it every lap through corners and give a little bit of scrubbing maybe to get the temperatures and keep it running high up and probably its best working temperatures window.
Absolutely, and we can see that. What you call Tanny is now the lead soft runner, because he had that much of a gap behind, and he chose to pit a bit later so he can still come out where he was and be on the faster tire. So that's a good strategic decision by the Red Bull.
And he also has a couple of laps softer.
Just
younger
a lap,
tires.
rather. Just a lap.
Yeah, a lap, but
Yeah, a lap is still a lot on this track, but it's so mechanical dependent. So yeah, he's going to benefit from that.
Well, the safety car would mostly be in this lap, because the drivers have bunched up, and this was the upper limit of, in terms of number of laps the game lets the safety car stay out. So we'll wait and watch as you see the messages come up on the top of the screen. Safety car in this lap. Dan will try and get as much heat as he can into the tires. He's going to slow down, let the safety car make its way into the pits, because after turn 15, it's a pretty high speed, medium speed corners, a lot of medium speed corners coming up. I think all the 5 corners. So won't be enough to build the gap to the safety car, and it might throttle cut his car and a few cars behind him. Streeter, silently in P3. The top 5 will definitely be under tremendous pressure from P6, 7, and 8. That's Danny, Faisal, and Montero, respectively. Like you said, the delta is so massive. As we see RB over there trying to be clever, staying close. Assassin seems to have sent it already he's gone for it. He's slammed the throttle open, and I think Streeter is going to be on the back of RB as he's going to try and make
That's
the
a
move
brilliant
into turn
restart
one.
from the Aston. Yeah. Yeah, that's a great restart from the Aston, and yeah, Streeter's looking really, what do you call, rapid here as he's trying to go for a move down the inside there. BK getting feisty for no reason at all. He's got to drive through as well, and he's cut the entirety of the S section to get past his teammate there.
That's
What are
just
you doing,
madness.
lad?
That's just madness, I must say. There's nothing, no mincing words here
That
anymore.
has to have few penalty points coming in his way for a move like that there. That's absolutely bizarre in my books. But yeah, Streeter has gone for a move on RB Ferrello, so P2 is on the cards for the Ferrari driver there. Danny still hasn't made a single move yet, which is very surprising, as we mentioned the soft delta. But yeah, BK absolutely taking no prisoners. He wants to get past all these cars and try to clear his drive through. But yeah, Abhi is not going to be happy with that at all, and he's been spun out by the Red Bull of Tanny as well. So not a good day in the office for the Haas drivers here. Not a good look with the teammate doing a move like that, and now him getting taken out by the Red Bull as well. So yeah, a bad day at the office for the Haas drivers here.
Absolutely, and as you can see over there, Tanny, all the soft convoy, I must say, of Tanny, Faizan, and Montero yet to.
Oh, someone's coming into the pits. That's BK who's serving his DT. Yeah, one of his DTs, if the telemetry is right, he has another one as well. Yeah, Tanny evidently with that last sector purple showcasing the pace he has on the soft tires. And yeah, you were right. I think 2 laps is the tire advantage he's had over Faizan and Montero. So yeah, Tanny is in the hot seat right now. For probably P2, maybe Dan is a bit too fast for him today. But yeah.
Yeah, that's highly possible. As you can see, he's almost got up 5 tenths through sector 1 to RB Ferrello, and he's going to be within DRS pretty soon, and he'll easily get both the drivers in the pace that he's showing, and the sun is coming out as well, which will help the soft runners a little better because they will always be on the ideal temperatures needed for maximum performance, and he's also within DRS now, whereas Faizan and Montero both seems to have dropped back from Tanny and between each other, so they are not within DRS and won't have the pace to catch up yet. They should just use the mechanical grip they have through sector 3 probably and get closer.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, though Tanny might have a penalty coming his way post-race because of that incident with Abhi, though I'm not sure. You guys going to have a better look at that. But coming on to the action, Tanny on his soft charge is just 4.5, a bit tenths behind now, 6 tenths. He's lost some time through that last sector there. DRS has been enabled, and RB does not have a buffer and does not have the aid of DRS in front for now because he's just a bit more than a second off of Streeter there.
Yep, and also taking into consideration that BK
BK is serving his second draft through. You were right.
Yep, like I said, I was just going to point that out because he has gone into the pits for the second time and he's going to be way far away from his teammate now to cause any kind of teammate battles anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I think another purple sector flashed up on our screens there, Harry, as I think it was Tanny again. As my UPS is going off, hopefully the light does come back, otherwise I might disconnect. But yeah, Tanny is on the charge right now, and is he going to go for the move here with the help of DRS? The stream is a bit too pixelated for me to tell what's going on screen right now, but yeah, has he got the move done? I can't tell.
Yeah, Tanny has passed was gone 3, as we have Faizan and Montero as well coming close. RB trying to fight Tanny for the position, like I mentioned. Definitely the mediums will be switching on right now with the sun coming out and the track temperature rising, so there will be a little bit of battling for the rest of the positions between the other drivers, as Faizan's 1.3 seconds behind RB and will try and close up that gap because he knows those softs need to be utilized, as Tanny gets within DRS, gets the fastest lap as well with a 1:35.3 at the moment, and yeah, RB has lost out over there as we have the final weather prediction we expect for this race. Light cloud cover, perfect weather conditions for probably the ideal grip these drivers need on the softs.
But now, since it's dry, the penalties should be coming into play as well, as drivers are going to extend. As, yep, point in case PK's got, well, yeah, he's the only driver. No, Faizan has a penalty as well. But yeah, penalties are going to play a factor in as well. But I do not want to curse any commentators, curse anyone. So I'm just going to keep quiet about that actually. But yeah, Tanny is just a 8 and a bit tenths behind Streeter as he got a monstrous exit. Tell you what, he gained 3 tenths there. And now with the help of DRS, could we go on board him? He goes for a huge swipe on the right, on the inside, and gets a move done before the braking zone. So yeah, the soft tire is coming in clutch as the spun out car. Is that BK? Yep, that's BK who spun out. And not the best of day races for him there after all the incidents he's racked up. Not the cleanest of drives either, but yeah. As RB goes very wide through that corner, struggling a bit on the tires, which is surprising as mediums should be relatively fresh right now. But yeah, Tanny's on the charge. He's 2.7 seconds behind SJ Assassin, and he is going to close that gap way more in the coming laps as well.
Well, we have Faizan as well within DRS to RB, and Faizan will be trying to gain positions as well as time on the drivers behind because he has a 3-second time penalty to his name, which will not be helping his case as we wait and see how he's going to try and make the move. As Tanny is right now hasn't yet managed to break away from that DRS detection or that 1 second gap he's supposed to gain on Streeter to avoid DRS detection or DRS resistance.
Yeah, absolutely. And seems okay, I think the stream is a bit pixelated for me. I can't quite tell what's going on screen right now. But yeah, Danny I think is 2.6 behind Dan right now. I'm not wrong.
Yeah, Tanny is 2.5 actually behind Dan as an SSG assassin right now, and he was catching up to a certain extent, but that gap seems to be decreasing as Faizan goes around the outside, gets the move on RB. They're going wheel to wheel through.
RB still on the outside, trying to hang it, but the soft tires are just that much faster. RB trying to take a wider line. He's going to get a rocket exit here. Try to get that. No, gets a bit squiggly and out of shape on the exit. And yeah, Faizan is just going to speed away now. But yeah, good battling, good racing there in that section, as I mentioned. And what's interesting is Streeter has a lot of pace here. He's teaming up with Danny, who's accumulated a 3-second penalty as well. So that's not going to help his cause for this race as well. And Streeter just hanging on behind the rear diffuser of that penalty.
Yeah. Streeter seems to have P2 in the bags now. He might use Tanny's DRS assistance that he's getting from Tanny to try and get himself pulled towards Assassin because Assassin's also on the mediums. He is able to maintain the pace, the gap to Tanny somehow. But let's wait and watch how it goes as we see Faizan, who's 2.5 seconds behind Streeter. Streeter getting a much better exit, going into the... Oh, wait a second, that's some DRS battles that's happened over there before the detection zone.
Yep. But it doesn't make sense really because Tanny has 3 seconds and Streeter doesn't. So not going to make that much of a difference. Though I think he's counting on Streeter to pick up a penalty as well. Though, judging from what we've seen in Tier 2 races, I don't think Streeter is one to pick up many warnings. So I think Streeter's got this in the bag, if I'm honest.
To be honest, I agree with you because Streeter is known to be one of those drivers who clean in terms of track-cut warnings and penalties. So he's definitely the driver who's going to get that P2 because he's closer, yes. He can make the move, yes. Tanny might try and play the DRS games at all points on track. That's also a fact, but well, Streeter with the cool head that he has, I hope he keeps those penalties at bay.
Yep. And he's got an overspeed on Tanny here, but Tanny just choosing to stay on the outside and Streeter not sending it down the inside. But Yeah, again, adjusting his lines there to try and get a better exit. And I think Danny's tires are sort of out of shape now. If you could just go on board him and see on the telemetry how his tires are right now. Not that one, but yeah, I'm pretty sure streeters are going to be in their optimal window. They're going to be heated up and on, and the softs might be getting a bit too hot for these temperatures right now. So the medium tire is the tire to be on in this stage of the race.
Also, is it possible, Tarun, to get the telemetry thing on? Yeah, because I want to see if they're trying to lift off. Streeter seems to have pulled back a bit, lost some time to sector 1, probably the dirty air. Danny didn't try and play the DRS game anymore.
RB behind is very close to Faizan. RB goes very wide on the exit there, a bit of like Alonso and Giovinazzi from last season in the real life Grand Prix. And Faizan's tires, yeah, you can see his front tires. He's been scrubbing them far too much, and they're quite low. If you could have a look at RB's tires, I think, yeah, relatively fresh compared to Faizan's softs. So the softs are starting to show their age now, and it certainly does show on the pace as well, as Danny's having to defend that much harder against the Ferrari of Street as well.
Well, I don't understand the necessity to defend, because he's probably, I think he's better off if he stays behind Streeter, uses the DRS and gets away. He has a 2.5 second lead on RB. And
yep, that's a good point. There's been an incident into turn 1. Again, a bunch of drivers involved. I saw that it was a cluster of drivers involved. Yeah, Faizan has dropped down 4 seconds to Danny. Oh, was he already that far behind? I'm not sure, but I'm certain there was an incident into turn 1 as well.
There was an incident between RB and Faizan into turn 1. I think Faizan tried to dive back and there was contact. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we have a look at RB's car if he's got damage or anything. Seems fine. Yeah, seems all fine. Montero want to watch out for, because he's the only soft runner without any penalties right now. Another driver like Streeter who does not rack up very many penalties in these 50% races, but he's making the move on Faizan right now, and Faizan is going to send it down the inside again, sort of try to jink him, scare him into a mistake, but yeah, Montero's not going to fall for that, and he's got the move done, and he's in front of the Alpha driver.
Well, important to note that both...
Beta driver in this case.
Well, the point I'm trying to note over here is we have telemetry for both Montero and Faizan that's visible on the left bottom, and you can see Faizan's front so bad. They're just not listening to his steering inputs, not complying to his steering inputs, and you can notice over there that Montero is taking care of his front tires much better, and there's going to be a version 2.0 between RB and Faizan, as we can stay on board RB and have a look at how it goes, because Faizan has DRS from Montero. He is going wide a lot. He seems to have no grip on the front tires anymore, and he seems to be scrubbing them drastically compared to drivers around him.
Yep. And Faizan doing everything he can to salvage a possible P5 finish, though I don't think with the penalties to count for, he's going to manage to do that. The driver really unfortunate in this race has to be RB20, muddled with a lot of incidents and just being bullied around the track today, or tonight rather, and yeah, he's going to be looking at, as I think BK's box his fastest lap there on the softs. And RB Fidello just sails around the outside of Faizan. That easy is that much is a tire advantage now, with how worn those tires of Faizan's are.
Yeah, not only that, Faizan tried to stay on the inside, probably hook RB and make him go a little off line, but RB, like you said, the grip is just so much better on RB, and Faizan struggling to get any kind of turn, and not sure if it's a general driving style of Faizan that is causing this tire wear, because Montero and Tani both don't seem to be struggling with heavy front tire wear.
Yeah, absolutely. As we head on to the penultimate lap, Tani just that much ahead of, is he 3 seconds clear of Montero? No, he's not, no? Yeah, he's not. 2.8. So it's a bit close between them. Montero is going to do his utmost to keep within that 3 seconds to get the podium. But yeah, it's going to be a close finish, as I think he's just closing up, and quite a bit actually. It's 2.4 now. So I think Montero's sort of got this in the bag as Faizan goes wide there on exit of that uphill corner, leading on to downhill. And yeah, as you can see on the telemetry, as Harry mentioned, his tires are done. He's running on the rims right now, if I were to say so.
Well, I was actually looking at this. This is like a proper progression in terms of front tire, where Faizan being the most worn out front tires, Tanny having sort of worn front tires. Looks like they're scrubbing a lot, these two drivers. But Montero, the driving style he has is perfectly taken care of his front tires, not excessive grip. And as you can see over there, just light orange. So that's definitely a much better tire set to be on right now.
Yup, absolutely. Montero really smooth with his inputs, it seems. Just trying to not jerk the steering around too much, and he's been very easy on those tires, if I'm not wrong. And that's gonna probably get him podium, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, he's 2.0 seconds behind. I can't quite make out my screen right now, but yeah, it's looking like a possible podium for Montero. Sorry? Alright, leaving the VC should has seemed to fix the quality of the stream there. But yeah, coming back, I think Montero's just closed up that much more. He's only 1.8 behind. So that's the podium in the bag for the Williams driver. And Streeter again with another confident drive as BK gets the fastest lap with a 34.3. Decent lap there from the Haas driver and some extra points on the board after maybe from his doing, it seems they've lost a lot of points. So trying to redeem themselves there, and yeah, that's a good lap from Haas driver again.
Yeah, absolutely. And back had a small connection issue. Streeter, like you said, managed to keep that clean. Dan has really pulled down the pace because he just wants to cleanly finish this. Wait a second, Streeter might get the win over here because Dan has picked up a 3-second penalty.
Oh wow, that's changed the entire podium there as Streeter picks up the win by less than a tenth. Wow.
That was
That's
so
gonna
last
hurt.
minute. Yeah, that's gonna hurt a lot. I think he got that penalty in sector 3 on the final lap.
Final corner probably, with how easy it is to invalidate there. Or probably the corner before that too. Oof, that's not gonna, he's not gonna be happy with that. And Streeter out of nowhere gets a win. Who would have
Dan
thunk?
got the penalty in the second one, trying to
Well,
push
well,
the
well.
fastest lap is.
The fastest lap is done. It's BK19 because the race is over right now.
Yeah.
And we're just looking at these drivers doing AI laps right now. As we can go, if we can go on board BK19 actually, he's the only driver left to finish a lap. Yep, and he has finished his lap as well. Let's wait for the final standings to see who has the fastest lap. I think it is BK19. Tanny getting a P4 over there after the 3-second penalty haunting him, and Montero getting the better of him in terms of penalties on track. So on track, it seemed like a much. It looked like a good race for Tanny, but that 3-second penalty, like I said, haunting him for that podium, and he lost it to Montero. P1 over there, Streeter must be very pleased with getting a win. Yes, there were less number of drivers, but he was constantly under pressure in terms of a good, consistent lap time that was expected from him. And Assassin must be gutted for losing that win over there. Probably must be raging right now. Montero gets P3 over there, and Tanny gets P4. As we wait and get the race director of all these drivers, RB gets a P5 after that incident with Faizan, and we have Abhi 20 got a P6 and Faizan a P7 after his 3-second time penalty gets applied. BK19 comes home in P8. And we have Sager who finished P9, but probably his AI might have been driving as we wait for the other drivers to join the VCs to get them on for podium interviews. Well, we have our P2 and P3 drivers over here. Let's have a chat with them as we wait for Streeter to join us soon. Well, Dan, looked like your race to win till that last particular corner, if I'm not wrong, where you got another 3-second penalty and that led you to lose the position to Streeter by a tenth, by less than a tenth. Talk us through that race and that final sector.
First off, congratulations to Streeter for finishing P1 and Anish for putting on a comeback drive. After having, I guess, an incident to finish in P3, it's a mighty big achievement. And well, it was all smooth sailing right until that safety car. Like when I had that massive lead from the other guys, and yeah, that. I mean, that I guess it just brought the field closer together, but I was already on 2 warnings by then, and like I was, hoping to just keep it clean, and when I picked up that, and by the time I picked up the 3-second penalty, I was just like low on ERS, like I just had around 20%, so couldn't manage to pull enough gap from Streeter to get out the 3-second window. Pretty disappointed that like with that last minute 3-second penalty, but fair race at least. I am taking this taking the the thing that I finished on P1 on track. So yeah, that's
so just looking at the positive sides, must I say?
Yeah.
Well, that's nonetheless pretty good. Good to just look at the positives, because that was just a silly mistake which you can probably sort out next race, and we have another 2 rounds I think to go for the season to end, and you seem to be doing some sort of a comeback in terms of the championship standings, because being in P4 with 146 points, around 40 points behind RB, and RB not finishing really well, Faizan not finishing really well. It's you and Anish who are just doing the comeback of sorts to catch up to the drivers ahead in the championship standing. So well done by you. And great drive till that last corner alone, where you got a 3-second and lost that win by less than a tenth to Streeter.
Thank
GG's.
you, Harry. You can always count on RB to put on a comeback drive. This was just an off day for him because I guess he had an incident or 2 with another driver. But yeah, if anything else, he will put up a good fight for the championship.
Well, sure he will, and we have 2 more races to look out for to see how it goes for him and for you in terms of the championship battles. But let's go on to our P3 driver Anish right now. Anish Montero, brilliant race over there. Some disappointing incidents over there which pushed you to the back of the grid, but you seem to make the right pit stops, the right strategy calls, and that drive. You were the only driver among the 3 drivers on softs in that final stint, where you were able to keep your tires alive till the end. So talk us through your final stint.
Yes, first of all, congrats to the winner, Streeter, and SSJ Assassins, who both drove brilliantly. I guess SSJ was unlucky with the safety cars. My race and quali was pretty eventful. Starting with quali, I was surprised with the pace. Usually my quali pace isn't great. My race pace is when I come back. But quali, I was just, I guess, 5 tenths off pole. So I was surprised there. And yeah, so that came as a big surprise. And the race, I don't know, I nobody to blame. I spun on my own. So after second sector, out of the, I was just behind Faizan, and I thought Faizan or Streeter, one of them. And I thought, okay, let me try to get them and do much of I don't use traction.
Even on wet, STC off. So I spun on my own and I lost my front wing and was around 30 seconds at the back. So it reminds me of Lewis's comeback drive, but not totally, because I had the safety car helped me. But yeah, I was around 30 seconds off, and I was around a second a lap faster than the cars ahead, who were Abhi, Paras, and all of them. And yes, without the safety car, I would have been nowhere. I would have finished maybe P8 or P7. So the safety car helped me drastically to close in. About the softs, so what happened was I saved one extra set of softs in quali. So the first run I did was on medium, because I knew that I did see that it was a wet to dry, so I knew that a soft, unused soft will be of an advantage. So that's where I was able to keep it alive, and I guess I was 4 seconds off Tani, whoever was P3, and I was 4 seconds off, and I saw that he had a 3-second penalty, and then I thought, okay, I have a better tire. And the last 2-3 laps I pushed, and I was able to get P3. But even Abi was unlucky. It was Abi and Faizan had an incident into turn 1. They didn't lose too much, and Faizan was anyway on 6-second penalty, but Abi for sure lost the podium because of that incident. So I would say I'm lucky that the safety car, the crashes ahead, all of them helped me. And the first, my incident was where I spun on my own. So I would say I'm very lucky. For the screw up, I could get back P3 at least.
Well, brilliant explanation. I think you summarized your race over there for us, and that's really eventful, I must say, as a race in terms of the incidents and the comeback from almost 30 seconds away from the rest of the drivers ahead. So yeah, the safety cars helped. Getting onto those softs did help. That decision in quali also helped. So must you probably just built up that race well and had a backup plan as well ready for any kind of incident, and GG's to that, and well-deserved podium, I must say, for the pace you showed on that final stint. And well, that's all from the podium interviews from us. This is Moto, Harry, and Sai Tarun signing off. Do come back tomorrow to watch our Tier 3 and Tier 1 streams of the round 13 in USA, as we just saw today. Let's hope for some variable weather conditions for sure for the rest of the tiers, and there'll be some variable weather which will help spice up the battles between drivers as well on track. And do subscribe to our YouTube channel, and if you are interested in motorsports or a motorsport enthusiast or a sim racer, do join our Discord community. The link will be in the bio of our YouTube channel and in the description of this video. Thank you for joining in. This is Harry signing off on behalf of IRC. Good night.